Hi, it's Wednesday at Celt Day. We're here in the Choice store in Cavan, and it's a festive scene behind us, you can see. So the packed paper, as always, 120 pages, chock-a-block with stuff. We're exhausted from putting it out. So the headlines in this week's paper is criminals using drones to target farms. That was from the meeting in Bailey Hotel. There's Loretto's top of the local schools league. And commercial rates leap by 5.5%, and then there's, a crazy amount of circuit court, which is the more serious courts that we hear locally. Lots of very significant stories in there. But before we get into the news this week, I spoke to Mark Leonard, the store manager here in Choice earlier, and he had a wee word. Okay, it's Wednesday at Celt Day. I'm here with Mark Leonard, the store manager of Choice, who have generously taken us for this week. And like you'd imagine, it's Lapland, but I'm afraid we're still in sunny Cavan. But Mark, tell us, you've a lot of offers on for Christmas.
Yeah, well, just a very warm welcome to you from the Celt here. We're delighted to have you. Yeah, look, it's all go here at the Choice store in Cavan. As you can see in the backdrop, it's a very festive atmosphere. It is. I suppose we want to let people know that we have just amazing offers here. Our range of stuff is very extensive. All our lights are running at half price between now and Christmas for indoor and outdoor. Very good. And as you can see from the great range of trees, we have all the trees to match as well. So there's a really spacious, comfortable, festive atmosphere here, and a really good atmosphere awaits the Cavan people for shopping here.
Perfect. Well, thanks very much, Mark. Thanks to everyone at Choice for having us. Well, this week's front page is about criminals using drones to target farms. It's a story by Sean McMahon, and just I thought we'd start with that there. I'm joined with Damien Donohoe of We Are Ulster fame and We Are Cavan. And started any other ones lately?
Yeah, we've quite a few. Okay. Mead, Loud, everything. All go.
Brilliant. And Seamus Enright as well, the reporter of the Celt. So, it's another week, another crime meeting.
Another rural crime issue.
Like everyone's, it's tormenting the whole county at this stage. But this seems to be a particularly sinister development in that I had never heard it before. But it was reported at this meeting, a public meeting in Baileyburgh in the Bailey Hotel, organised by Deputy Niamh Smith, that one of the speakers from the floor got up and said that he was aware of criminals using infrared cameras attached to drones to case out farms before robbing them to actually to see what they can actually steal.
Especially over that end of the country, though, the county, they've been badly hit of late. There was, I think, 2 pretty severe burglaries in the Mountain Lodge, Cootale areas. One Mountain Lodge where they arrived back home and the criminals were in their house, and effectively, they had to wait for a car to come. It took 40 minutes. There's a serious issue. There's a number of issues over that end of the county anyway, because they're still waiting for the new car, the station. But rural crime it's not going away.
But you said you'd heard of this before. I've
heard of issues like this. Not surprised at the very easily done.
But an infrared camera attached to a drone,
drones are widely available. Infrared cameras are widely available.
Show me.
Very easy things to do, and they don't make a lot of noise. They're quiet. They're silent. You can just be hiding in the back of. They could be hiding in the back of a van somewhere and just scouting out, seeing what's there, seeing who's around, seeing what. You can land a drone very, very close to a home and see if they have any cameras there or anything like that. Scope it out.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm not giving anybody tips or anything, but I'm serious. It is that serious, and criminals are getting.
But it's gone to the point now that the criminals are so advanced in that they're actually putting investment into
breaking the law.
They're gone to the point because some of these drones, while you could go very, very cheap on it to get real good quality, you could be talking about thousands of euro. Now, the possibility is that they rob the drone.
Yeah, right. Okay.
So it brings it, and not to make light of the situation, but they're investing in their career, for want of a better word. I think it's gone crazy. When I seen that headline, I thought it was just mad. The other thing that frightens me is that what you're talking about in Mountain Lodge, a robbery, which is 10-15 minutes away from Baileyburgh. We were talking about earlier on, or a few weeks ago, about closure of stations in West Cavan. What's the advantage of having an open station in Ballybor 15 minutes away if the guards aren't there within 15 minutes? So that kind of rings alarm bells in my head. If you're living, you think you're living near Ballybor, that, oh geez, there's a really big station here and there's lots of Gardaí, I'm going to be very well served. Maybe the proof isn't in that statistic. You're no better off because you live close to Ballybor.
Well, it emerged in the story too that there's still only one sergeant in Ballybor, so they do seem to be understaffed as well. And again in the story, everyone goes back to, oh, we need more CCTV, but
more CCTV, more guards. They're the
CCTV isn't going to stop this.
No,
the drone is for the rural attacks. Like, they're not going to have a drone over Cavan town or Ballybor town because everybody's going to go, there's a drone. Exactly. I can see a drone.
Yeah.
Whereas in rural it's effective because there mightn't be anybody around, and if there is, there's only one person, and they'll go, well, why is there a drone here? Less chance of spotting the drone.
Two burglaries in Belturbet last week, very close together, and I spoke to one of the victims. Off the record, it's not in the paper, but I mean, she was in agreement. There needs to be more cameras. There needs to be CCTV
Were
cameras.
these in town in Belturbet?
Take Belturbet for instance. There's 4 points in Belturbet where you could put a camera that would absolutely cover the entire town. 4 points. Ballina have cameras, and the community are absolutely delighted with them.
How did Ballina get the cameras though?
Community fundraising and grants. And brilliant. And it's
and credit to Ballina for doing it.
Really, yeah, absolutely. But that's a massive route. That's an artery that goes right down to the south of the country. So anybody going through Ballina, if they've committed a crime, and are using that route to get out, they're caught.
Well, it's a fascinating story by our colleague Sean McMahon, who was at the meeting on Monday night. And just to flag up, there's another crime prevention meeting on in Ballyhaise National School on Tuesday, December 12th at 8:30. So we'll probably be talking to crime again next week. Anyway, inside, Seamus, you did the story with Loretto's topping the
Loretto topped the league. I think it's
impressive, isn't it?
Well, I was following on from last year's. We tend to go back a year and see what was written about it last year. And last year they had, over the previous 9 years, they had topped the league again. But they just seem to have a massive
I thought
turnout
was top last year.
But over the 9 years, last year they were top. Loretto just have a very, very high number of students leaving, graduating and going on to third level. But as I spoke to, say, John Kearney, who's the CEO of the CMETB, stats are where those figures, that league table used to be the be all and end all for schools, and people used to go, oh, that's the measure of a school. It's really not, because that doesn't take into account further education.
No,
that doesn't take into account people going into apprenticeships.
Yeah,
and I know it's a snapshot.
So you would you'd bring a note of caution to parents.
All it's really saying is, if you want kids going to university or institutes, as in the Institute of Technologies.
No, I wouldn't even say that, because I mean a young person might need an extra year, and their pathway might be doing 1 year in Cavan before then going on to university. They might get the points, but the fair.
So does this table not take in the people who go to Cavan Institute?
It doesn't take into account further education. It only takes in ITs and universities.
Okay.
So it really isn't reflective of the greater picture. And
so you had some schools here where they had 60% of students, which sounds low, to a parent. You might look at that and go, well, I'm not sending my kid.
But you might look. 30% of those might have gone on to further education. Exactly. They might, because every child develops at a different stage, a different pace when it comes to education. Everybody knows that.
I know St. Pat's has quite a high number of transition year students. I think Loretto is the same. Yeah. So that extra year has been incorporated within that year. Where I know in Breffni College, for example, they don't do that transition year. No. Very, very few students. So they probably go to Cavan Institute and then on to their university or their ITs. Yeah. So
that's it indeed. I mean, a lot of students from Breffni College go to Cavan Institute, and then, I mean, from Cavan Institute there is pathways to everywhere.
Well,
DCU,
actually,
Sligo IT, Athlone.
Even forgetting about that, the apprenticeships is coming along.
Huge.
Incredible. Yeah. I mean, there was a particular year of engineer graduates from the apprenticeship course in Cavan Institute, and all 20 of them were employed by Abbott's.
No way.
The entire class.
Straight away. All got jobs.
In fairness.
So we can see.
I was looking at the league tables and thinking, is this a real victory to show that mixed schools don't work as well. But stats can lie.
There is a bigger picture, and yeah.
Well, there's two. We'll tie these two stories together because it's nice that everyone's familiar with Erica's fairy forest up in Coot Hill, and it's just a wonderful amenity. And they won a prize, and Seamus did a lovely interview with Erica's mother, Natasha, and also another, going back to an old story that you did. Yeah, it was Dean Ward was awarded.
Dean Byrne. Dean Ward is another another story.
Dean Byrne was awarded a prize for rescuing people from Killikeen.
From drowning in Killikeen.
It's an incredible story, but it's brilliant to see the
Erica's Fairy Forest got a Pride of Place award, which is really like a massive national stamp of approval for a location. But it's the bigger picture. The amount of effort that has gone into developing for Erica's Fairy Forest, not just by Natasha and Kieran, and their family, and Erica's family, but the entire community have taken that one patch of Forest Park into their hearts.
And made something special.
If that was in Dublin, for instance, I'm not saying Dublin, but I mean, if it was in Dublin, something might have been damaged, or you'd expect maybe something might have been taken from a tree or vandalised in some way. But in Erica's Fairy Forest, nothing is touched. Yeah. It's immaculately kept. The entire community puts so much effort into it. It's a fantastic stamp of approval.
You're right. Dublin's crap. Cavan's great. You're 100%
right. We'll get to the football after.
In fact, everywhere outside of Cavan is crap. Cavan's great. Well said, Shane.
Big up leaders outside of Cavan. Opinions are.
We're all actually political nerds here, and we're all devastated we didn't get to report an election before Christmas. That would have been just Christmas come true. But Seamus did it.
After Sean McMahon's political broadcast last week, we were very, very surprised.
Well, Seamus, you were at the latest council meeting, budget meeting, where the commercial rates went up by 5.5%.
The annual budget meeting, it's
I know this is dry,
it's a calendar thing. It happens every year.
Tell me what this means for a business.
5.5% hike in their rates. They will be paying more next year.
Big money?
Well, it's big money for a business that is.
Say you were in a store.
Huge.
Okay.
Because their floor space is massive.
Okay, so it's based on their floor space.
Their footprint is huge.
You have to pay a certain amount of commercial rates, and they hike this up now. Who are the people?
Am I right in saying that?
You could be talking €3,000-4,000 of an increase, €3,000 or €4,000. I'm thinking off the top of my head with a business like this here at the minute. I would say it could be €3,000 or €4,000, and there's bigger businesses. There's your polls. There's
There's about 2,500 businesses rateable businesses in this county, and 70% of the total rates is paid by, I think, something like 250 or maybe 300. So you're talking the big businesses are going to be hit by this. Now the smaller businesses too, because I mean, you're a small business, and things are on the upturn. People are more positive out there, but this is just another bump on the head for them.
Yeah. Okay, well, tell us, you think there's a greater significance to this in terms of the dynamics of politics locally?
Well, it was interesting because for the second time in almost as many months, Fianna Fáil and Sinn Féin have decided to block a proposal by Fine Gael. Fine Gael wanted the local property tax increased, and they were denied that, and that would have brought in something like, I think, €663,000, where the council have a deficit of 700,000 to meet, due to a number of various reasons outside of their control. But this is now so they've chosen to increase the commercial rates. I don't
arch enemies at a national level, best buddies
at council level. It's
great to see it. It's great to see people coming together for the greater good of Cavan. For Christmas.
For Christmas.
Exactly.
Lovely. Okay, well, we've got Damien here, so this means one thing only.
Football.
I
know, sport in general.
Tell us how Cavan's going to win the Doc McKenna Cup.
Yeah, well, I think if we merge with Fermanagh and Monaghan, we'll have a fairly good chance.
I don't think we get too many players into the Fermanagh team for listening to Damien.
Well, that's true, yeah. They've the best forward line in the country, so did you know that?
Well, Matty's surprised me upbeat.
surprisingly is definitely not the word to use when you're talking about Matty, because being upbeat, he's always upbeat, and in fairness, I'd say to be involved in the Cavan panel, you're coming out with a smile on your face all the time, although I hear they're doing some horrible long runs and really heavy gym work at the minute, so I think it's tough going, but he's always upbeat, he's always positive, and he's looking forward to the McKenna Cup again.
Has he got a panel actually named?
No, not officially named, but he's brought a panel together.
What are we talking, 40, 50 players?
Again, I don't even know the numbers on it. I don't even know the numbers because there's a few people who aren't in. There's the Gales haven't been involved yet.
Okay.
There's new people in. I don't know if they're in on a trial basis or in for good.
So it's 40 or 50 people who actually want to be there, though.
There probably is, yeah. I'd be very surprised if there's not, and which is great. And look, we were having this discussion in the office. Anybody who doesn't want to play for Cavan, good luck to them and best of luck with everything else. But we don't need anybody who doesn't want to play for Cavan. So, and Matty's got a panel together of people who are working exceptionally hard. Now I know from talking to a few lads that are involved, the amount of training that they're doing at the minute, they're really busting a gut, and we have a group of people together who are busting a gut to play for Cavan.
But there's nothing going to ride on this competition for him. Like, say they lose, they lose to a university. Like, is there significance?
I disagree. I think Cavan are at the level now to win a McKenna Cup is vital. It becomes important for the simple reason to win something. But to win something. Last year,
they beat Tyrone last year and then lost to St
Mary's and Donegal, and after beating Donegal.
Yeah. When they lost to St Mary's, everybody said, "Oh, that's an awful result."
It is,
and it was almost like that was a hit against the manager. Then
it was, and I think he made a mistake. I genuinely and I don't publicly knock Dr. Measure, but I think he made a mistake. He put out a different team against St Mary's last year, maybe took them for granted and thought, look, we're going to qualify here anyway, and we didn't. We had the opportunity to stop Tyrone's run of winning McKenna Cups last year. We didn't take it. I think this year he needs to rectify that. Personally, I think he needs to go out and say, listen, Tyrone won't be as easy bet this year as they were last year, in my opinion, because they'll have seen Cavan coming. But go all guns blazing to win this competition. Our last game is against Tyrone. The first one's against St Mary's, second's away to Antrim, third one is then at home to Tyrone in Kingspan Breffni on a Wednesday night. That's going to be the one. And if you have 2 wins under your belt going into that game, there's a bit of optimism. Even if you lost that game, there's, people are still going, well, look, we beat Tyrone, we're going to put them out of this competition, let's go at it. But if you lose against St Mary's or against Antrim, I think that's a really bad result for Cavan.
The first game is always a good one to it's a setting your bar. It's setting your bar.
That's exactly it. So look at Matty. There's an interview or some of Matty's reaction from the launch in the paper. Big win for Crushala in the Division 2 league. I think that's quite significant in the longer term thing of Cavan club football, because it's a very young Crushala team
and run for fun.
Unbelievable, and they were without one of their best players, Pierce Smith, and I don't even think James Smith played either, who is the county minor midfielder star. He was away at Aussie Rules trials, so to beat Killigarry, who would be another up and coming young team, and to beat them, I would say convincingly. 6 points to me is convincing at senior level. I think that's a massive statement of intent by Crushala. Delighted to see that. Darren McCarthy be a good friend of mine, that I think he's doing a great job there with Crushala, so well done to Crushala. Cavan Gales winning the league final. This
no surprise.
Well, I'd say no surprise that they won it. The manner in which they won it, 4-11 to 9 points with 14 men. Shawnee Johnson sent off after 10 minutes. I'm not going to go through the whole lot on it.
So there's no hangover from Ulster anyway?
No hangover at all, despite maybe overindulging a wee bit. But Cavan Gales, I think, again, another statement of intent, that they weren't just happy with their season, that we were beaten by Slough-Neil, our perfect run is over, who cares about a league final. I remember a few years ago Cavan Gales won a championship, and the league final was against Kingscourt, we'll say 4 or 5 weeks after. Half the team didn't show up. There was no attitude to go out and prove that we're going to keep the Cavan teams down underneath us. They were beaten by Kingscourt that day. There's no signs of that. There's a hunger, there's a desire, and there's a ruthlessness about that Cavan Gales team now that, for me, shows room that it can get better. They're going to have to get better if they're going to win Ulster, but that was again another.
Is the foundation of the county team, so if they can bring that on to the county panel,
that's it. And Cavan, Matty McLean is going to have to pull a certain number of these Cavan Gales boys onto his panel to make it a better panel. the Future Stars, the All Stars Awards are on today. There's the tournament on at the minute. It's at the Cavan Institute post-primary, so it's all the senior teams competing in that. Great list of players there. It shows that the future is bright in Cavan. There is talent there, especially in the forward line when you look through it, but it's on page 109. The handball championships were on at the weekend. Paul was bet.
By his protege.
Here, you're going to flick past, but congratulations to Cliff and our, like, 11-11.
Yeah.
What a score. Yeah. Unbelievable. What's it, 44 points, we reckon?
Yeah, I thought that was a misprint. I thought that was the points printed twice.
And Lacken scored 6-10. Like,
that's incredible.
In coming a month's goal. It shows we have lots of forwards in Cavan, not just in Fermanagh. They're not just in Fermanagh. But yeah, going on through the under-21s then. Actually, a really good piece by Michael Hannon again. I know I say it nearly every week, but he's looking at the provincial structure, the Railway Cup, and how Connacht pulled out of the Railway Cup. That's significant. He's digging into that in his article this week. So really good paper on the 21 Championship, and has to be said, I've been waiting for this to get into the paper.
Yeah,
Damien McCartney's part 2 with Mickey Graham. Brilliant read. You have to read that, page 103.
Future Cavan manager there, I reckon.
Hopefully so, because he's going for success. But I think he'll win 3 in a row in Longford first. So
hopefully.
Jam-packed sports.
Tis, and just before we go,
don't forget. We'll not forget it again. Here we go.
Crossword. Well saved, Kevin.
Crossword.
Okay.
Thanks to Choice, I think they win the set of the year for the set
Yeah,
of
it feels like the den.
Brilliant.
Yeah, it does. All I'm waiting for is Dustin to come out from Damien's behind.
Didn't know where that was going.
I didn't know either.
And congratulations to Cavan McDermott from Londonderry. Money joking, Kevin's our cameraman. No, it's Mary McPhillips of Killycraney, Coothill. Congratulations. Let's check. Yep, ball's looking good there. Well done. So you've won yourself, I think it's a meal for 2 in the Farnham.
Yep.
It is Sunday lunch for 2.
Happy out.
So thanks very much. Now 120 pages, what on earth's in the paper? It's chock-a-block with town features, Christmas town features, and here's where we've got, this is film video gold here. Okay, Ballinya, Ballyconnell, Clonelec, Killishanner, Arva, Ballygame Stuff, Clones, Shercourt and Kingscourt. Whew. So thanks very much for joining us. And where are we next week? Love
Berducci's Italian restaurant in Cavan Town. You might sit in for that one. There might even be a pizza around, I was told today.
Oh, fantastic. Well, join us next week. Thanks.